How you doing out there? Wake some folks up. Y'all already know what time it is. It is time for Take a Solar Moment. We have Pastor Tim Newkirk on the line with us this morning. Right now, he in the queue with Goodness in the Poetry Cut on the Poetry Corner. Good morning, Evangelist. How are you? Let me get this stuff together before anything decides to try us this morning. That's right. Thanking God.
Love Talk Radio. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm watching you. What's up, boy? You on the back? Watch yourself. Watch yourself. Wake up, wake up. It's the top of the morning. It's time to take a solar moment hosted by Solar, the community garden with goodness and the...
Good morning. Hey, check it. It's a Freedom Friday, y'all. So wake up, everybody, y'all. Share the show with somebody, y'all. It's a Freedom Friday, y'all. Thank you, Yvette. That's how it's gonna do. National Book Reading Day. So pick up a book. Take another look. Yes, y'all. Listen, if I'd have did that, that would have took me back to Break of Dawn and Hooker days. Like, it's planned to join us on this Freedom Friday. So, Goodness, good morning. How you doing this morning as I begin to wake folks up?
Good morning, Sister Queen, and thank you for asking. I'm blessed for any day, whether, it's good or bad or the other. I'm just going to take it. It's more good than bad. And, so the ugly is there. But I'm doing, how are you today?
I understand that totally because, for J. Moss said it best. Y'all know, he says, through the good and the bad, you never stop. Through the lessons learned, you never stop. Disobey, we bring shame to your name. And we mess up. And that's one thing I don't want nobody to get, like, don't get it twisted. Everybody falls short of their mark. Whether it's the way you look, the way you eat, whatever it is, passing judgment. But I'm just so happy today, Goodness, that we're going to be able to say no matter where you're from, salvation is reach. It's within reach. But right now we got James Gill with the Law of the Land.
It's going to be as simple as possible, but a oldie but a goodie. You must arm yourself to protect your family. You cannot wait for somebody else to protect your family because nobody will protect your family like that. But seconds count because things is going on right now. The drama is in your face right now. And you are faced with a lot of different things. A lot of different things are going on. So you must somehow, some way, even if you don't want to get it done, that's fine. Get what you need to protect your family to make sure that at the end of the day, you and your family come out alive. That's the law of the land for you.
Did he drop the mic again, Goodness?
Okay.
I think he dropped the mic again, Goodness. I'm going to put him in the queue if he's there, and that's how we're going to do. What we're going to do is open up the phone line for our guests. We have a very special guest on the line on this Freedom Friday. I'm going to say, when a lot of times I may not meet the guest in person. There's a chance to be like, get the name and the number. But what I saw on this man, just in the name of the ministries alone, GYC Ministries, and that's where the title came from. Goodness, you tell me if I'm right, wrong, or indifferent, because I'm a twirl while you do the introductions. But what I saw is you can find salvation in inner city living. And a lot of we feel like salvation is all about the church. But I feel like today we're going to hear that you can find salvation in the middle and the midst of a lot of things. Go ahead, Goodness. I'm twirling.
Yes, well, I'm so excited that we have our guest this morning. This is somebody near and dear to my heart. We grew up together. We came from the same neck of the woods. And, what a lot of people don't seem to realize is that you really don't have to be a product of your environment. You know what I mean? There are some of us who make bad choices, but then the others, they make the choice to live again. And this man has accepted the calling that was on his life. And I'm so glad that he's out here in the trenches, trying to give back to the community and reroute and redirect some of the youth. And, I'm just so happy that God put his hands on him. We're talking about Pastor Tim Newkirk today. And I'm just going to open it up and let you have the floor. The mic is yours.
Thank you. Greetings to each and every one of y'all. I'm happy to be in the land of the living. Happy the Lord has found favor and allowed me to wake up and see another day, to rise and to be above and not beneath. Because truth of the matter is, it's precious. It's grateful to be chosen and to be called by God, even just to be a beautiful air that we smell this morning. Because somebody didn't wake up this morning. Somebody didn't have the opportunity or the privilege to see another day. So I'm just grateful to be alive, and I'm just grateful to be also a part of what you guys are doing. And I pray many blessings to come in the path to continue to light up in front of your feet. And I like to start by just recognizing who I am and who God has called me to be. I wasn't always the way that I am, but God has the final say. And He sees far beyond my mother's womb what I will become and what we each will become if we just allow the mission to stay complete and allow it to stay and to be here.
Man.
And I'm happy to welcome all those that are tuning in too. And God bless you all.
Listen, it's too early to start like that. Goodness, you ain't told me he was just going, man, you starting early over there. I want to say thank you. I do, for that wonderful intro and that blessed intro. I got to say thank you. Goodness, you going to say, I'm floored right now. I'm emotional ball.
And on this note, we are free to express ourselves. We are free to express the what I want to say, the grace and the mercy of the Lord. When you recognize that, when you start your day off like that, that's the best way. Never leaving home without it. And, that's the best protection that you can have. And when the law of the land spoke of protection, when you put that hedge of protection over you, as well as whatever else, you have the protection, no weapon form shall prosper. And I'm just so thankful that this young man is on the line with us today, because he has a testimony. And it's not even Tuesday, but, everybody has a testimony that's been tested within their life. And it's up to us to either pass the lesson or keep going through it. And, I just want you to tell us a little bit about the GYC Ministries.
Yes.
And how it all originated. And, just give us a little bit of that, please.
Okay. Well, first, GYC Ministries, the Bible says you raise a as a crew, as a culture was formed and started. It was started on those very pretenses. Most people think GYC was started based on the fact that we were a Goodyear crew. We were selling drugs in the community, and we were running drugs through the community and wreaking havoc. The truth of the matter, no, we were young children that was looking to belong and looking to be a part of our own entity, our own thing. And as we still say to this day, it's that thing of ours. Because what happened was, during the times of dancing and battling and actually adolescence and menacing, we never had our own crew. We never had our own thing. They had a Montana crew. They had a Nevada crew. There were different varieties of crews. And every year they would go to the Juneteenth in certain places and certain functions, certain clubs, certain house parties. Back then they were doing house parties too.
Mm-hmm.
And we felt separated and we felt alone. And it came by way of some other young brothers that could dance, that can backflip, that can Little Ma, Peanut, Herman, Willie Fisher, Gerald Newkirk, which is known as Hooker, my brother, and a few of the guys that was in the community that was into the dancing scene, into the rapping scene, pop locking and the TikToking. So we always wanted a crew because we were always fascinated with the Montana crew, because when they came in the swarm. They was all put together. They could dress for success. T. Foster was also a part of that original GYC crew. And there was going on rumors about, New York boys and different crews and posseing together and rallying around each other. So what they decided to do was, there was a rumor out that if we were to go to Juneteenth, and goodness, you remember that time, you remember that era, that they were going to be jumping people.
I remember that too.
People, initiating people and getting on the 2-4 bus and the 23.
Yeah.
And they asked you who you with. You didn't know who to say who you were with. They would initiate you, and you would be considered a New York boy or a New York girl, either other crews. So what we decided, or you were the state board. They also had the state board.
Right.
You know, so you had to either become a crew in order to not be initiated.
Mm-hmm.
So what we decided was, when we heard about the Juneteenth, because in order to not go to the Juneteenth was a disrespect. It was a dishonor of your city or where you came from and your area. So for years we were traditionally going to the Juneteenth with our parents, and then when we were old enough to go on our own, we would go there. We would meet the girls. We had to dance. Whenever somebody run up to you and battle you, the Zodiac Boys. You know, they had Terry Mack from Los Angeles, D.T. Showtime. There was a lot of entertainment.
You saying some names.
Going on through the city. People don't mention that.
Yes.
Yeah, Patty Duke. You know, it was Patty.
Patty P.
St. Louis crew, St. Louis Babes. See, a lot of things generated from that. But there was no Goodyear crew. There was no crew. So what it was how do we know that we will all be united? And what was told was, okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to meet up in a specific place at a specific time, and we're all going to go to the Juneteenth together. So that was a positive message. That was a united message. That was collective effort.
How well was that received, though? Like, by the community, when they see an entire group of young people who hip hop has its own look, it has its own culture, and you came up to the Juneteenth. What was that? What was it received like?
It was awesome, because what it was already a culture that was designed by recognition of the way you dress, the way you the things that the items that you critiqued. Because what we were doing, we were considered, and we were already a culture, boys would be girls. So what it was and goodness can elaborate more on that, because she was a B girl. So in order to be girl, you had to dress sort of fly in a way, sort of like a football player and a cheerleader. You had to stay together, you had to amp each other up, and you had to really walk with somebody that you was compatible with. That made that person shine, that made that person look, which later became the hustle boy. Money, you came up and you bought your first vehicle. It was a lot of origins back then, because you roll with who you was with. You know, nowadays it's a misconception. If I get all my money on my own, I get my money solely. Now I mess with a lot of girls. But back in our culture, you always was known for the girl that you talked to, the girl you walk home with, the girl that you sat on the porch, the girl who you entertained and who you went after.
Right.
So a lot of good things came out of the community that was relevant to our parents who was working, mom and dad, you know, mother taking care of the home, being a homemaker, the father going out and being a breadwinner. So we had pulled from the very essence, those cultures. We had stores, we had community with businesses and things of that nature. So we mimicked what we see, but we just used it in a lawful way. We still mimic. We didn't have YouTube, we didn't have Google, we didn't have Instagram or to work every morning, and mom stay home. In our relationship era, you're my girlfriend, you sit on the porch. Don't go off the street, because I didn't want anybody else talking to you, or if you did, you walk to the store with me.
Oh,
so we mimicked it.
You taking me back. Bro, listen, you just took me back to, I'm from down on Guilford, so I'm down the street from y'all. I grew up with the hard way. You feel me? That was who I rep. So you already know, I knew what to say. Like, I get it. And it reminded me of going to Wayne's Deli, getting that ice cream cone. But now it's 6:45 to the top of the hour. And what I want to say to us is, how did that transition begin to say it's a ministry? How did that come about? Where did we all take this turn of life and said, we're going to do it a little bit differently, but at the same time, every disciple was a gangster. So let's just say what it is. That's just my take on it. But where does that come from now?
I'm laying the foundation. See, it was always a ministry. I was always a ministering the community before I turned sideways and went in a crooked direction. See, the ministry piece was never taken away. So the first word I spoke earlier was you are who you are before you got here. So the ministry was just a title. The pastor just became a title. There was the to get back to the knowing. And I had to recollect and recalculate who I am and who God made me to be and what is my purpose the first time. So the first time it was always there, it was just buried. I had to find the line. The line had got covered up with sin, with drugs, with hustling, with gangs, with putting in work in the streets. And it got covered up because every time that I would do something that was disrespectful to him, the creator, and to my family, and to my history, and to my origins, and to the culture of my life that God had developed me with, Genesee was the land. So when I disrespect the land, you be good to the land will be good to you. You reap what you sow.
Wow.
So what happened was when I went to the wayside, as the prodigal son had did, I went to the wayside. We started forming gangs. We started selling drugs. We became, as once, the Goodyear crew for the good years that we were going to have. He was calling that to be, speaking of those things that be not as though they were, the good years to come. Not just the years. The land was the commodity. Genesee as a whole. That's why when we're doing this event from Vidoc to Vidoc, it represents that everybody that was in the land was blessed. It was fertile. It was fruitful. It was prosperous. So the transition to GYC ministry, when we switched over and became the Goodyear crew, good Yale crew, good drugs, good cocaine, good drugs, anything of that nature. When we took on the formality of becoming somebody that we shouldn't have been, when things had went bad and things had got so bad and so chaotic company, some things had happened that when I got away from myself, I had to get out of self. And when I gave my life forward and I transitioned, I almost forgot about who I was and where I was from. And I wanted to do the traditional thing and become a part of different associations when God had always made me know that I had a people. Yeah, I have a people. When I left the wayside and I went into a transition to learn and get my education in ministry and get my understanding of who God is and learn about the Lord.
Okay.
Like Moses had to do when he had to go to his father-in-law house when he left Egypt. I had to learn who my people is. I'm in Pharaoh's house, but I have Hebrews that are my people. They're my family. These are my blood people.
Well, shalom. Like, no, for real. I'm one of those. I'm a Hebrew. Shalom, bro.
Yeah.
You know, so
my people.
Yeah.
So I was sitting in the Baptist church, and there's nothing wrong with that because my spiritual father taught me, and I was under tutelage, and he was bringing me up in the right way, giving me all the right tools and instruments on how to deal with God's people, how to love his people. My heart was yearning. My heart was still, there was something missing because I'm dealing with people that are designated to him. But there's 500 that has not bowed their head to Baal, that has not given up their life, but are waiting for somebody to come and to see them and guide them in the right direction. That was me. So the Goodyear crew, God had shown me will return back to what it was really meant in the first place. God's young children. God, you in Christ. And it hit me. I'm sitting in church. I'm dressed up. I'm dressed as he says. I'm going to church. My name is good. They cleaned my name up because no longer I'm affiliated with selling drugs or doing wrong or putting in work and making bad decisions. The name kept coming back to me. So I had a vision that God had gave me a dream. He woke him in his dream. He showed me gang members standing in between each other with no one to mediate. Street people standing in the crossroad of the street and no one there in between them. And as I seen them, they started off young and they started getting older. It troubled me so much so because they were getting agitated. The streets were getting full with more and more. We started with 2 kids. And before you know, they were adults. They were on bikes. They looked like Bloods and Crips. They looked like different people. The girls was involved. They had the braids. They had the plaid shirts. They had the low pants. And I just started seeing this happen as a repetition. It was repetitive. So when I went to my pastor, I had to schedule an appointment. I met with him. I said, Pastor, God showed me I have my own people. And they're waiting for me out there. I have my own people. He didn't understand the dream until I brought it to fruition. And I'm speaking to him, and I'm so plain. It was so clear with so much understanding that my people are back here suffering, that smell like me, that talk like me, that walk like me.
I gotta say this, bro. I gotta interrupt you, because right before you said that your people are waiting for you, you have a comment online. It says someone is waiting on you, and it was there. I was gonna just wait until after you were done, because what you're telling us, like Goodness and I are really like having like you're telling it the way it needs to be told, and your comments are coming in, but it literally said someone is waiting on you. Amen. Good morning. It says yes, the prodigal child shall return. Grace and mercy of the Lord, put on the full armor of the Lord, and just a bunch of good mornings. And one even said, the way you started, they've been getting their praise on since 2 a.m. So say so, the pastor. And the pastor has said so. So I just wanted you to know that, and our guests and everyone to know that when things line up and God wants things to line up, you don't have to worry about where it's going to connect that. Just it's a lesson that we all got to learn. But that just connected the dots. As someone who don't even know what was going on, all the way from Arizona, to say someone is waiting on you before you even told the story of your vision. That's how long that comment has been sitting there. So amen again.
Amen.
It's 6.
Amen.
It's 6:52.
Because Arizona, and it's funny because I've been told to come to Arizona, and when I have an Arizona experience. When I first was in the going through a transition and change of my life, I was in Tucson, Arizona. I was actually down there doing wrong. I was actually down there. I could have been dead. I should have been dead, because when I went to Arizona, I was dealing with the cartels, and I'm not afraid to say it, because I speak on everything. My life is an open book now, and I can talk the talk, because I used to walk the walk. And yes, when I say GYC, I say Genesee, and I say we touched a lot of cities. I said it at a funeral yesterday that me and Pastor Brown was doing. I was in a lot of places, and I lived the same way in Buffalo that I lived in Charlotte, Baltimore, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, Atlanta, and anybody that knows me can check my record and my resume. But I was in Arizona, and I remember going to a sanctuary. I was walking. It was a sanctuary, a holy park. It was just a park, and it had the concrete sculptures of Jesus and all the things that he went through leading up to the cross. And I never was a person that was into spirituality, because I always respected the fact that they had their thing and I had my thing. I would not hustle on Sundays. I would not sell to pregnant women. It was just something that it was a code. And I'll never forget, I seen that monument, that park, and I took pictures of it. And I never knew that I would keep those pictures. But it was Jesus kneeling down praying. It was the Mount of Calvary. It was feeding the multitude. And I took those pictures, and I took them, and I used to keep them with me. That's just one of the things I had to say. And Arizona was one of the first places that I seen the oasis, and I seen the respite. Never knowing that I would give my life to the Lord, and I would serve Christ from that during those times after. But Arizona is the place I must go back to, and it was already prophesied that you will be going to Arizona. So whoever sent that message, God bless you. Keep praying for me. I will be probably touching there soon, and hopefully I'll meet up with you.
She says yes.
That was my godmother. That was my godmother, Pastor Tim. That was my godmother, and she's an evangelist. And, Tim and I were talking on the phone yesterday, and, when you have somebody that speaks things into your life, and not even really knowing that somebody else has already said the same thing, when somebody else says it, it's confirmation, because it's more than one or two people saying it. It just got to be some kind of message, And last night, Pastor Tim told me that, I'm a little bit bigger than Buffalo. He was like, Arizona calling your name. He said, Texas calling your name. He said, California calling your name. And my thing is, my poetry is my ministry. That's my way of ministering to the youth in the community, because I was in a bad car accident. And today is September 6th, and it's a Freedom Friday. And I am free to say that, in 2009, things could have been different for me. It could have went another way as well, Pastor Tim. When I was struck and hit by a drunken driver, a young one at that, under the age of 20, driving at 12:00 at night, things could have took a different turn. So what I did was, and that was the first accident that I was in. And this year marked about 10 years. It's 2019. 2009. Somebody do the math.
Yes.
Add that up and then round it off and put it to the nearest 10. Somebody tell me. But, you know, I looked at that as a blessing in disguise, you know. And what I did was I was able to get back to my first love, which is poetry. And everything, just like those pictures that you took from every stage of Jesus' life leading up to the cross. You know, what that did was it made me look at every stage of my life. And I was able to get back to the first love, which was poetry, that led me up to what we're doing today, to what I've been doing in the community today. And, you know, the enemy is real crafty, and you cannot stray from your path, and you cannot allow nobody, and not even yourself, to knock you off your path.
That's true.
You can trick your own self, and then you will assume it was the enemy. But when the reality is just you, you know, in your own way. And when you say you was allowed to, you know, get yourself out the way and let the Lord come in and fill you up, bro, that's
powerful.
You know? And I
Look at him.
I am so thankful
The stages.
that I'm still here. I am so thankful and so grateful.
Amen.
Because that gave me the opportunity to minister to my community and to the youth, you know.
What's going on?
And I'm gonna tell you this. It's 6:57 at the hour.
Yes.
At the top hour, and I'm gonna tell you this before we part ways. Pastor Tim, you definitely hit the nail on the head because I am from that area. I'm from Nevada, GYC. My cousin JJ, you know, everybody rest his soul. My brother Tone, you know, rest his soul. You know, we all came up in that era. But like I said, when I talked to you earlier, you know, when I stated earlier, everybody does not really become a product of their environment. Good things do come out of the you know, environment.
That is true. That is true. Now,
then it's not serious about that.
Come on, why you gotta go quote Tupac? Goodness. Hold on now. Hold on, sis. Rocky, calm down. We gotta let the man tell about the event this weekend. We only got a minute left. Calm down, Rocky. You see why I be putting her in the green room sometime, bruh? Goodness ain't gonna tell nobody but nothing but the truth. And the truth is, man, stages is definitely important. 90 seconds left. What is going on in the community this weekend?
Well, this
Okay.
Well, we got September the 14th. We have a GYC reunion day.
Okay.
I've said that paved the way that gave blood their life. Cause we have a lot of families that's outside
60 seconds
that are still GYC, and they're definitely repping it. So, you know, we are in unison, and we are coming together in solidarity, bringing back the love that we once had in our communities, and let them know that the line is still there. It's never been cut. It's just been covered. The line has never been cut. It was just covered. And now it's been unrevealed that we may move on and go on and bring forth our legacy. A lot of us are still going to be attached to Genesee and Buffalo, but we're going to be other places promoting who we are and what we did and where we came from. It's our culture and it's our thing. And we want to share it to the world. We want to share it to the city first, because you must take care of your house and then you are able to go out. So I just want to say thank y'all. Keep doing what you're doing. We love you. And I want to give a big shout out to my daughters. My one daughter, Neil, who had her birthday.
10 seconds.
Gun violence last year. She's going to high school this morning. My other daughter, Luca, May, Kanji, little niece, Christine.
Yes.
You know, she's a GYC baby. She's going to college today. You know, this is her second. I just want to thank y'all because it makes me do what I have to do more easier, knowing that it's people like y'all. And hopefully one day they will be able to be on your segment because they got a story to tell. One losing a mother and the other one going through adversity and growing up, finding her own way, being a rose. And there's many thorns that grow on the rose. They're not to be removed, so it wouldn't make them a rose without a thorn. So
that's what's up. That's what's up. We got to have two, Pastor Tim. It's already 7 o'clock in the morning. Right about now, we got Vo and Slick J Adams. We want to give a shout out to all of you parents who are going back out to school. But check out what this brother is saying right here on Blog Talk Radio. It's a Freedom Friday, and who the sun sets free is free indeed. So get up, get out, and do what?
Get on. Get on. I love you. I love y'all. I love what y'all doing. Keep it up, fellas.
No doubt.